You're joining me today in Suffolk, one of 4 counties in East Anglia where a large phantom black dog has been seen for many hundreds of years. We'll be taking a look into a well-documented account which took place in a church in 1577, as well as many other local legends and even some very recent encounters with the creature. Black Shuck is a ghostly black dog that has been seen around the East Anglian countryside and coastline throughout counties such as Suffolk, Norfolk, Cambridgeshire and Essex. Usually sighted in graveyards and rural country lanes, it's described as being black in colour with long shaggy fur. Its size varies from that of a large dog to even a small calf. One of its more notable features are its red or sometimes green flaming eyes, which has been described as being the size of saucers. In some accounts there is one large eye in the centre of its head, much like that of a cyclops. It's thought the name Shuck came from the Old English word scucca, meaning demon. Other names such as Old Shuck, Shuck Dog and Old Hucks have also been used over the years to describe whatever it is haunting rural East Anglia. There are many accounts throughout the British Isles of mysterious dog-like phantoms, in both local folklore as well as well-documented accounts. They're usually said to be witches' familiars or an earthly form of the devil himself. Despite all these accounts up and down the country, none of them seem to be more cited and more frequently mentioned than East Anglia's Black Shuck. The first report in East Anglia came from the small market town of Bungay in Suffolk, where, during a massive storm in 1577, the devil in disguise showed itself to locals. It was here in St Mary's Church that the terrifying and now legendary events took place. On the 4th of August 1577, a mighty storm raged. Darkness, rain, hail, thunder and lightning, as was never seen the like, is how one local described it. A congregation had gathered here inside St Mary's Church, where they prayed for salvation and mercy from the horrific storm. All of a sudden, the doors slung open and in ran an enormous black dog. It tore round the church, attacking some unfortunate locals, until just as quickly as it had appeared, it vanished back through the doors from which it had come. Not long after Shuck left, the residents of Bungay were able to reflect upon the terrifying encounter they just experienced with what some believed to be the devil himself. The church had also suffered in the storm, with the clock tower being struck by lightning, causing the clock itself to smash to pieces, some even believing this was the work of Shuck. But this, however, was far from the end of Shuck's rampage. 12 miles away in the village of Blythburgh, the locals had gathered in the church for Sunday service. Unknown to them, a storm was approaching, a storm accompanied by Black Shuck. Later that morning, the storm approached Blythburgh, where a congregation had gathered inside the church. All of a sudden, people looked up to see a huge black dog climbing on the rafters. It suddenly jumped down and killed an old man as well as a young boy. Another man was badly injured. Then, all of a sudden, just like before, it left with a thunderous bang through the door. To forever remind people of this frightening encounter, Black Shuck's claw marks can still be seen today, burned into the church's door. As well documented as they are, can we really believe that these events happened here nearly 500 years ago? Well, I do, but maybe not from the perspective of the people at the time. There are too many eyewitness accounts at both churches just to dismiss the story as nothing more than local folklore. However, we need to take a look at people's mentality at the time. In the 1500s, people were very God-fearing and also very superstitious. I suspect that an unusually large storm did indeed hit East Anglia that morning. Is it possible that a dog, frightened by the thunder, had run into the churches and in its panic attacked the locals? Over the next few centuries, written reports of the black shuck are few and far between. However, it does still continue to pop up now and again, with people coming forward claiming to have sighted an abnormally large black shaggy dog, sometimes with flaming eyes as the legend tells. Many tales in different towns and villages grew up during this period about the black shuck, each with different details. One of the more sinister being is that it's an omen of death, and that should you look it in its eyes, you will have but 1 year to live. Moving on into the 20th century, sightings of black shuck increased, many of which taking place on rural country roads, with drivers driving along and seeing a pair of large glowing red eyes in the distance. It was only when they approached the animal they saw it to be a large dog. What's interesting is that unlike the supposed demon dog encountered in Bungay and Blythburgh, the black shuck seen around here seems to tell a much different story about its persona. It's said that shuck will help guide travellers through marshy terrain and dangerous coastlines to prevent them falling into a watery grave. This does seem to stick with most sightings since the Bungay and Blythburgh encounters, and it does seem to be more of a kind and helpful spirit rather than something evil. Black shuck remains a mystery to this very day, however many believers think of it as more of a spiritual animal rather than a physical being. Another popular theory to be put forward is that it is in fact a big cat. Now for those of you who don't know, big cats sighted around the UK has become quite a popular thing to see, and it's thought that they're cats such as jaguars and cheetahs, that they've escaped from private collections or have been released illegally into the wild, and I think big cats could actually explain a large portion of black shuck sightings. The black shuck is maybe one of Britain's most well-known legends and still intrigues people to this very day. Can we say whether the stories are true or not? Of course we can't, but many people who have laid eyes on the beast and those who have grown up surrounded by its mythical presence still have some belief in the black shuck.